political stalemate and reconstruction efforts. Peace negotiations have made little progress. The Syrian government, led by President Bashar al-Assad, maintains control over most of the country, but faces international isolation. Reconstruction efforts are underway in government-held areas but have been slow due to a lack of funding and sanctions. The international community remains divided on how to approach Syria's future. Some advocate for re-engagement with Assad's regime to enable reconstruction, while others call for maintaining pressure to achieve a political resolution. Looking ahead. Syria's plight highlights the complexities of prolonged conflict and the dire need for a unified international approach. As the world grapples with other pressing crises, the suffering of millions of Syrians risks being overshadowed. Urgent action is required to address the humanitarian needs and foster a sustainable resolution to the conflict. Escalating geopolitical tensions. The involvement of external powers in Syria continues to shape the country's trajectory. Russian airstrikes have intensified in northern Syria, targeting rebel groups and infrastructure. Meanwhile, Turkey has bolstered its military presence in Kurdish-held areas along the border, citing concerns over terrorism. In the northeastern regions, U.S. forces remain stationed as part of counter-ISIS operations. However, sporadic clashes between U.S.-backed Kurdish forces and Turkish-aligned militias threaten to destabilize the fragile balance. Neighboring countries like Israel have also carried out airstrikes, targeting alleged Iranian military installations in Syria. Humanitarian crisis intensifies. The United Nations and various NGOs have highlighted the worsening humanitarian conditions across Syria. Over 15 million Syrians, nearly 70% of the population, are now in urgent need of aid. Access to food, clean water, and medical supplies remains limited, with rural areas and rebel-controlled territories particularly affected. The economic downturn, exacerbated by sanctions and global inflation, has driven millions into poverty. UNICEF recently reported that children in Syria are among the hardest hit, with over 3 million suffering from malnutrition and a lack of education. Efforts to deliver aid are often hampered by logistical challenges and ongoing hostilities in certain regions. Latest developments in Syria. Syria faces continued challenges amidst humanitarian crisis. In recent months, Syria has remained a focal point of geopolitical tensions and a humanitarian crisis, further complicating efforts toward recovery and peace. The ongoing civil conflict, which began in 2011, has left much of the country in ruins, displacing millions and claiming hundreds of thousands of lives.